Hello and welcome to 3-Minute History with Mr. Marr. Today we're going to look at not a city as has been the case in recent times, but an area of a Scottish city, and we're going to find out a brief history of Lochee, which is an area of Dundee. People have been living in the Lochee area for at least 5,000 years. That is certainly based on many of the archaeological finds that have been found in the area, and this takes us back to the days of the Bronze Age. Indeed, in the Kirk area just now, you can still find stones which were laid those thousands of years ago. The name Lochee itself is said to come from Eye of the Loch, and it refers to a loch which almost certainly was in the Kirk area, although has long since been drained. Lochee itself became an area of significance during the time of the Industrial Revolution in the 1700s. This was in part down to the impact of the Cox family, who were involved in the linen trade. They expanded provision within the area to set up weaving factories, firstly at Foggy Lee and eventually in what would become Camperdown Works, at one point the largest factory in the world. The impact of the Cox family on Lochee is significant. Indeed, many of the area's places have also been named by the Cox family. For instance, Clement Park was named after the wife of one of the Cox brothers. Lochee in a significant sense became a prominent part not only of Dundee or Scotland but the whole world in the 1800s. This was largely again back to the Camperdown Works that was previously mentioned, and 6,000 people were employed here dealing in the jute industry. This was a significant part of Scotland's economy as well at the time, and it would also later play a prominent role in the provision of materials for World War I and World War II. One memento of the factory which still exists to this day was Cox's Stack, which was at one point the largest chimney of its type in the world. The provision of so many jobs in the area attracted others to move to Lochee, and this was in particular people from Ireland. Irish women in particular were attracted to work in the area's mills. This remained the dominant employer in the area until the later part of the 1900s, when Camperdown Works finally closed. There was other major changes in Lochee at this time as well, not least the building of a bypass which had the effect of dividing much of the communities which had once been one part. Modern Lochee in many senses replicates that of other small towns and villages to be found across Scotland and Britain. The major industrial decline that occurred in the 1900s has in many cases left issues of poverty. The area's high street has also suffered that of other high streets to be found around the country, struggling to deal with the growth of major shopping centres and large supermarkets, although there have been attempts in recent times to revitalise the area's high street. Lochee's identity now remains in different ways, not least in the provision of two junior football teams, Lochee Harp and Lochee United, and the area still enjoys services such as swimming pools and libraries and the churches which have marked much of the area's growth from the 1800s onwards.